3 takeaways. All right, we did a lot about the quarterbacks at the top. A lot of people come in and out of the show. We're going to touch it again on the QBs here, set it up. 3 takeaways. Shaun, what do you think about Jacoby Criswell as a quarterback for UNC in the first half today?
I thought, like I said, he was productive, with what he had, and not being able to play as much, this year. It takes some reps to really get good at quarterback, man. That's a hard position. I couldn't and would not want to be a quarterback. That's a hard position. You have to know where everybody is and make adjustments during the play, and it's just such a hard position to play. From the actual physical standpoint and the mental standpoint. But from Jacoby, I thought he played well for what he had. Showed that he can run the ball, which I think the coaches kind of wanted to see that from him because being Sam, being the rushing attack for us, I feel like they kind of want to keep that theme going. So they set that up with him. It wasn't very accurate. There was one play in particular. Missed a couple throws. Basic throws was one basic throw that really stood out where he kind of scrambled a little bit. He didn't know whether he wanted to run because there was a defender between him and the running back. I forget who the running back was, but he went to the side. The running back went to the sideline, and he threw it, and it was like 8 yards over his head. Yeah. And it was basically like, I assume like 10-yard throw. And, those small plays make a big difference. That 10-yard throw could have turned into a 30-yard gain. So those are the type of throws you don't want to miss. And so from him, I didn't see a lot of accuracy.
Yeah, and these guys need to get more comfortable, more reps. This is the first time they've had any really meaningful reps with playing, snap after snap, possession after possession. Criswell finishes 11 for 19 for 125 yards. He did rush the ball 5 times, 66 yards, and a touchdown. He's stockier. He's a little bit shorter than Drake May, and can definitely take some hits and get some yards. Drake May here quickly, 7 for 9, 89 yards passing, 1 touchdown to Kamari Morales, 4 rushes, 38 yards. Taller guy, more pocket presence.
Right.
Quick takeaway on what you saw from Drake May.
Yeah, like you said, a bigger pocket presence to me. I feel like he was trying to go through his progressions a little more. There was some I feel like he may have predetermined who he was going to throw to because, as a quarterback, for me, if, the down the field throws aren't there initially, I'm looking at tight ends and running backs. And, he kind of missed some of the running backs that were, open on some flare routes. And, that should be your safety blanket, especially coming in as a quarterback that hasn't played all year. Just, dump off some passes, get comfortable, and then you can look downfield. But, again, his accuracy on the throws, I didn't see a whole bunch of throws, but the 1 touchdown he threw where he actually went through his progression, there was a U slide, like a tight end slide to the flat, and then there was one it was 2 tight ends, one delayed as a blocker, slipped out into the, maybe a 5-yard little out, and then the other to the flat, and he, went through his progression, didn't throw to the flat, and then he kind of threw a little nice touch pass to Morales for the touchdown. So, I feel like he has a better pocket presence than Criswell did.
It'll be interesting to see what happens after this year. I think for this game, Phil Longo, offensive coordinator for UNC, was very conservative. Want to get some easy passes early, some designed runs, get them comfortable. I think we saw that there weren't many deep routes even available for them. So definitely the whole offense wasn't available. But come game time next year, one of these guys is going to be the starter. Which
have to be that guy.
Think about. All right, second takeaway is the defense. You had a couple injuries. We saw Ja'Cory Conley get injured on the first play. A kickoff return. I'm not sure if it was exactly the first play, but he touched the ball as a kickoff. So he's out. We don't know about his injury status. We saw Gimmel get hurt as well. I'm not sure of his status either, if he even came back or not. I think as the offense should have scored more, and the defense should have held Wofford a little more too. You saw them driving it down to the red zone. Yeah, that was a little concerning as well.
That was another thing we were talking about, like with the defense during the game. Like you can't call for the D coordinator's job, or like it's all on him, because we've talked about it on the show a couple times. Like the guys are in position to make a lot of plays, bro. Like they're in the backfield. Like even when Powell Echols came in, he ran right through the daggone line, and the running back was right beside him, and he just missed the tackle. But again, I think defense definitely has to get better next year. Like, I mean, it's a must.
Do or die next year. I mean, you're gonna have, I think, some of the best players on this defense. John can attest to this. We both kind of follow recruiting. The best players are sophomores. Tony Grimes, Ja'Cory Conley, Miles Murphy, Des Evans, Taman Rucker. A lot of the best players are sophomores. So they'll be juniors, kind of your peak, kind of where you're getting to become your best player.
And that's the thing too. Like, we're getting guys in.
Yeah.
But how are we making them better? They're supposed to come in and they're already good, but how are we making them better while they're here?
Yeah, for sure.
So that's a big thing we were talking about too. But yeah, defense takeaway.
Yeah, I think you, like, as a UNC fan, you want to see the score be a little bit bigger than 34 to
against
14
Wofford. Right.
Against Wofford. I mean, there's just a completely different recruiting level. I mean, UNC's getting 5 stars and 4 stars. Wofford's getting freaking -1 stars.
I was saying that today too. I was hoping we didn't have a bunch of recruits here today because the day wasn't the day.
Yeah,
it wasn't.
Yeah. Okay, bowl game, third takeaway. UNC gets to a bowl game, 30 in a row under Mac with a bowl game. You know, remember before Mac got here, there was a 3-9 season, a 2-9 season. So if there is a positive to this year, it's a third bowl game. UNC 6-5 going into the NC State game. They'll get 13 practices after the state game leading up to a bowl. It's probably going to be in December, late December sometime. Shreveport, Charlotte, we don't know. It's not going to be some massive bowl game, but UNC will go to a bowl game. How important is that to a team that, like you said, needs more reps for the quarterbacks, for these young defenders, for young running backs? You've been to a couple bowl games. What are those bowl practices like, and how important is that for the development of a team?
They kind of get mundane, be real with you.
Like, let's get going.
Yeah, I just want to play the bowl game, especially like with a lot of seniors that either know they're going to the league or they know they're not going to ever play again.
Yeah.
It's kind of, you have those two dynamics, and, practice can kind of be a bad show.
But it's a chance for the young players, I guess, who want to prove themselves.
It is.
To come in as a freshman or a sophomore to be like, hey, I want to get up, start a job next year.
And coaches start to get those guys in. They start to get them reps. And, I mean, it's unfortunate for senior guys who actually could go out, and play the last game. But that's what coaches do. If they see some promise in some guys, some younger guys, or they want to, kind of start developing them early in the bowl game, I think this is the time. And that's what happens during these practices.
And kind of see what they have. Like, who do we have behind this
Correct.
senior who might play in the bowl game?
Right.
But, J.J. Jones, Kobe Passor, Gavin Blackwell, who are these wide receivers, who are these running backs? What offensive linemen are going to start after a Marcus McKeith and a Joshua Zudu, a Corian Johnson leave from the NFL, who they have behind them. So.
And who do you have now, like the guys last year who didn't play in the bowl game other than Sam, that just say, oh, I'm not going to play?
Yeah,
that's another thing.
So it can be a launching off point. It can be a way to develop. You get 13 extra practices, an advantage over teams that don't make a bowl game. But for 3 straight years, UNC has made a bowl game, 6-5 with a 34-14 win over Wofford.